All right, so tonight we're going to do a little something different. I'm trying a new method here, so let's see if this works. So here's my hand. Hello, hi guys. We're actually going to work on this together. So you should have this. It was given to you yesterday at the end of first period, and we are working on the assignment that you'll be doing in class. Now you don't have to do all of them, so I wouldn't get ahead of yourself. I'll tell you which ones you're going to do tomorrow when you come to class. But for tonight, we're going to work on a couple together, and then I'm going to set you free. So number 2 on your homework on your page says counterclockwise. We're just going to change that, and we're going to go ahead and focus on clockwise today. So clockwise is going to be the word that we're going to really focus on today. Now at home, you guys have the full sheet. Me, I happen to slice my sheet in half, so I've got a half sheet to make it easier for the demonstration. But we're going to go ahead and talk about what that means. Okay, so and then we're also going to talk about what it means to say about the origin. And at this point in the 8th grade, you're only ever going to do a rotation about the origin. And the origin would be that point here. I like to call it right at the crosshairs where the X and Y axis meet. So we're going to turn it one way or the other, and the direction that we turn it depends on what it's actually telling us. Today we're going to focus on clockwise. So when you read a clock, we draw a little clock here. We always start at 1 up here, and we go in this direction. We end up at 3, 6, 9. I wrote my 1 in the wrong spot, didn't I? We start at 12 here, and then we go in this direction, right? So the direction that your hands on your clock are actually going in the clockwise direction. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to put it right at my point of origin, and I'm going to spin the paper clockwise. Oops, got stuck. Clockwise. And doing that gets me in the habit of remembering that in the direction of the clock is clockwise. Okay, and that's what we're going to focus on today, clockwise. All right, so it will also tell us how far we have to turn it. This one tells me 90 degrees. So I'm going to go 90 degrees clockwise, so in this direction, about the origin. So around, spinning around my point of origin. Okay. So if you're a skateboarder, you know that when you do a 360, you spin it all the way around, right? So 360 will get you right back going in the same direction that you went. Okay. If you're doing 90 degrees, then you're going to make a quick turn. You're either going to turn a quick turn to the right or a quick turn to the left. Because we're focusing on clockwise, our 90 degrees turn will always be quick turn in the clockwise direction, just one shift. Okay. So if you remember, we labeled our quadrants, we labeled them wrong one. We labeled them as quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So when we spin it 90 degrees clockwise, our quadrants are going to shift to the right one section. So now instead of being quadrant 1, quadrant 2 is in the quadrant 1 position. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to spin it back around. And if you remember, one of the other things that we had to do when we did our translations or reflections is we started with a point. And this point is point A. When we translated or reflected, our new point was A prime. And that's the exact same thing that we're going to do here. So I want to rotate this item 90 degrees about the origin. So I want you to plot my new point after the rotation. So my original A, the ordered pair for that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. So that's going to give me an x of -4. And it's going to go up 1, 2, 3. Right? So positive 3. That's my A prime. My original point is there. So after a rotation, my A is going to be at 1, 2, 3. So my X is going to be 3. And my Y is going to be up. So positive 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So then I spin it back around and I graph it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where my A prime would be after a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. Got it? Let's do another. Alright, so we're going to do number 7 on your worksheet, and as you notice it says counterclockwise, so I'm going to go ahead and cross that out, because we're going to focus on going clockwise tonight, and we're going to pretend this one actually always said 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. I should say clockwise, not lockwise. So remember, here's my origin, okay, and my clockwise is going to go in this direction. So I'm going to take my points, and let's see, I have KCY. So I'm going to put points K, C, and Y, and I'm just going to label them as my primes. Then I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to spin it or rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So I'm spinning it in that direction, just 1/4 turn, or clockwise 90 degrees. So my writing that used to be on the top is now on the right. So I'm going to take these points here and I'm going to write my new ordered pairs. So the first one would be K. So from my point of origin, I'm going to go left, 1, 2, 3, 4, up, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn around here and I'm going to put my ordered pair as -4, +3. Spin it back around and find where point C is. From my point of origin, I'm going to go left, 1, 2, 3, and then down 2, 1, 2. So then point C is going to be -3, -2. Left and down tells me negative, negative. Spin my paper back around here, and from my point of origin to find point Y, I'm going to go left again, so another negative, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down another -1. So my ordered pair for Y prime would be -5, -1. So now that I have my paper rotated back into its normal position, so the writing is now on the top again, I'm going to plot my prime ordered pairs. So after a rotation 90 degrees clockwise, my new transformation, or my rotated figure, will be at these ordered pairs. So from my point of origin, I'm going to count left 4 and then up 3. And there we have my point K prime. For C, we're going to go left 3 and down 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And there is my C prime. For Y, I'm going to go left 5 and down 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1. There's my Y prime. And this is when that straight edge comes in handy. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a ruler. I have, what do I have here? I have a $10 off thing for Grubhub. Not that I'm ever going to use it, but this will work just fine as a straight edge. You don't have to have a ruler, but you do need to use a straight edge. Don't eyeball it. Eyeballing it is not going to give you the practice or the habit of creating a wonderful straight geometric figure that you need for later. Later on, those straight lines are going to be super important to help you find your answer. So if you notice, my rotated figure is in quadrants 2 and 3, where my original figure is in quadrants 3 and 4. But when we took that and we did our rotation of 90 degrees, where did my figure end up? quadrants 2 and 3. So that's how you know you did it correctly. Okay, so we're going to do another couple that we're going to practice, and really these are just another rotation that's pretty simple. So today we're going to focus on clockwise, and then we're also going to do not counterclockwise, but 180. So as I said, those of you skateboarders, you know when you do a 360, you turn all the way around and you end up going in the same direction. So 360 essentially is that, right? So one turn is 90. Two turns is 90 plus 90, or 180, and you're going in the opposite direction. A fourth one that you may encounter when we're doing these, especially if you're doing it on the state test, is 270 degrees. So 270 is here, 3 turns. 90, 1 turn, upside down, 180, third turn is going to be 270. But I'll talk a little bit more about that one tomorrow. So today, the one that we're focusing on this time says rotation 180. So anytime you see 180, you know that that figure is going to turn upside down. So I'm looking at my ordered pair right now, and I see it's in quadrant 1, right? So Al is quadrant 1, and its ordered pair is 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2, 4, 2. So my prime, Al prime, is not going to be there. It's going to be somewhere else. If it does end up there, you did something wrong. So let's go ahead and do that rotation. So rotation about your origin, you're going to go 1 turn, that's 90. 2 turns is 180. So now your paper should be upside down. And you're going to find that ordered pair for your new prime. So from my point of origin, I'm going to go left, so I'm going to have a negative x, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go down 1, 2. So my x and my y are both negative. Negative 4, negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and spin it around, negative 4 and negative 2, and we're going to plot that new pair. I'm going to spin it back around real quick. So when I spin it around, what quadrant is this? Does this end up in? This ends up in quadrant 3. So I'm also going to write quadrant 3. Q3. So let's check it, okay? When I graph my prime ordered pair, I'm going to go from my point of origin, left 4, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 2. 1, 2. And that point there is going to be my Al prime. And just to confirm, is it in quadrant 3? It is in quadrant 3. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? We're going to do one more. And this will be number 5. I lied. Not number 5. We're going to do... Yeah, we're going to do number 5. Number 5 is another 180 rotation. So that means that it's going to go exactly upside down, right? So I have ordered pair points A, Q, H. So A, Q, and H. And right now they're in quadrant 1 and 2, right? So Q is in quadrant 1, A is in quadrant 1, and H is in quadrant 2. That's where they are now. Let's write those ordered pairs so that we practice plotting our points, because that's something that a lot of you really struggle with. So the more practice we get in there, the better off we'll be, right? But I know that my A prime, my Q prime, and my H prime are going to have a different set of ordered pairs. For A prime, from my point of origin, I'm going to go right 1 and up 1, so that's positive 1, positive 1. For Q, I'm also going to go to the right, so that's going to be positive 1, 2, 3, and then up, so that's positive 1, 2, 3, 4. So positive 3, positive 4. To find H from my point of origin, I have to go left, that's a negative. left 1, 2, so negative 2, but then I go up, that's positive, 1, 2. So my H is going to be negative 2, positive 2. And now I'm going to write down my ordered pairs after my rotation of 180 degrees. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm just going to flip it upside down. It doesn't matter which direction I spin it in. If I spin it counterclockwise, this way, or if I spin it this way, it does not matter. Either way, I'm going to end up with my paper upside down. Correct? All right. So let's look at our new ordered pairs. So where are we going to end up after we do the 180 degree rotation? We're going to end up in quadrants 3 and 4. So for point A, I'm going to go left 1, down 1. So that's going to be negative 1, negative 1. For H, for Q, that's my next one, I'm going to go left 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3, negative 4. Now let's look at H. Flip it back around. For H, I'm going to go right 2, down 2. So positive 2, negative 2. Now, do you guys notice anything? What do you notice about our numbers? They're opposites, right? So if this is a positive, these are both negative. These are both positive. These are both negatives. They're the exact same numbers. They're just the opposite. So 180 might have something that we could look at for that effect. Here's the last one that we did that was 180. So our regular L was for 2 both positive. After my rotation, we had the same ordered pair. They were just both negative. Might be a shortcut if you can remember to use it every time with the rotation at 180 degrees across the origin. So let's go ahead and plot our new points here. So A prime is going to be negative 1, 1. I mean negative 1, negative 1. There's my A prime. Q prime is going to be negative 3, negative 4. So left 3, 3, down 4. That'll be my Q prime. And then my last one, H prime, is going to be positive 2, negative 2. H prime. I'm going to go ahead and get my straight edge, and I'm going to connect those points. And as we suspected, my rotated figure is in quadrants 3 and 4, opposite of my original points. Easy peasy. You're only going to have a few problems to complete on this page, and then this page we're going to follow up on Thursday. So I'll do some more practicing tomorrow, going counterclockwise, and then we'll go back and do the rules on Thursday. Sound good? That's it for tonight. I'll see you later.